All right, everybody. I'm over here to make myself a little large. All right. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? All right. Whew. Hope y'all had a good day. Hope y'all having a good weekend. Not letting last night's abysmal loss to U of H by Colorado interrupt your weekend because we should have saw this coming. Somebody asked me what time was I going live. I'm like, did I know I was going live today? And the reason was, man, I didn't want to talk about it. I was live for 4 hours yesterday. I was like, I thought I said everything. But you know what? Here's what today is bringing. Today is bringing, why is this allowed to happen? So I saw I guess like a clip of an interview where Coach Prime was saying he was dumbfounded by what transpired. I'm like, excuse me? Now, I like to think that Coach Prime is that guy, always aware of what's going on. Much like Shadua, awareness is his kryptonite, rarely caught off guard. So for Coach Prime to say, I'm dumbfounded, and to be stunned by the debacle that took place on the field makes me ask, are you begging for an Oscar? Because there's no way you could be dumbfounded. How could you be dumbfounded when you just named Kaden the starter after you said he earned it? And you said you were willing to give Ryan Staub, who was QB3, a letter of recommendation to another school, which means you had no plans for him because you say you watched the whole practice. You knew who these players were. It seems like the pressure got to Coach Prime, not the pressure of somebody like Pat Shurmur and somebody coming to Pat Shurmur in unison to Coach Prime saying, hey, why don't we let Ryan Staub play, right? And he should have said, for what? He should have said, no, Kaden gives us the best chance to win. Coach Prime said he put in Ryan Staub because he gives us the best chance to win, and that's exactly the opposite of what happened. At some point, you should feel like you're being played, and don't come to Atlanta because they're going to know you green, and you're going to be a walking lick. Because Coach Prime looked like he was caught in the dark doing something he had no business, and everybody he's exposed. Just exposed. How can Coach Prime say, I'm dumbfounded by what happened? No. And here's another flip side to the coin, right? Another flip side to the coin. Let's say you knew that this was going to happen and you just going along with it, trying to get your Oscar and pretending because you want to show the big guys upstairs, Rick George and everybody else, that it ain't you. You wasting these players' time. That's where we are. See, this is not year one. We don't have the luxury of bleeding out to 4-8. This is year 3. We already had an identity. And if we wanted to change it, we should have communicated that to the fans and everybody else. Hey, you know what? We're going to do a balanced run game. But the fans are consensus that Pat Shurmur has to go. But after the Georgia Tech game, what did Coach Prime say? It wasn't on Pat Shurmur. It wasn't on Doc Livingston. That's BS. It's definitely on those two. So let's talk about the real elephant in the room. Why is Coach Prime reluctant to hold Pat Shurmur accountable? Doc Livingston too. What did I say coming into this game? Don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. We need to stop the run. Don't let this QB situation take away from the fact that we need to stop the run. Colorado has 5 quarterbacks that can hand off the ball to a running back just to get the game going. And that's exactly what you saw. Bubble screen, middle of the field, bubble screen, inside run, bubble screen. You saw the same BS called for Kaden. And people want to say Staub did it better than Kaden. Let's not ignore the fact that Kaden was set up to fail, like Shadua was set up to fail. The question is, why is Coach Prime so reluctant to hold Pat Shurmur? Let's deal with Pat Shurmur first. We'll get back to the defensive coordinator because I got an answer for that one. Why is Coach Prime so reluctant to hold Pat Shurmur accountable? Why? Why defend Pat Shurmur and say it's not the play calling when it's exactly the play calling? And then not only do you defend Pat Shurmur after the Georgia Tech game, you go along with his harebrained scheme to bench Kaden Salter and start Ryan Staub. Now you stuck with Staub. Because if you don't give him another opportunity, it's going to be a problem. And your players are feeling it. I don't want to hear nothing about the players. It ain't the players' fault. No, they're not perfect. But you know what? They caught up in some internal team politics. This is year one all over again with the offensive coordinator hijacking the damn season. The question is, why would Coach Prime allow Pat Shurmur to continue on with atrocious play calling? And we done gone from atrocious play calling to hijacking the quarterback position and putting in Ryan Staub, who is no, no, not a quarterback. Every now and then he'll do something. What is the key that Coach Prime teaches? Consistency. So if you say you're looking for consistency, why would you put in a guy that right now has a 28 PFF score? Why would you put in a guy that did exactly what he does at practice in the game? Because Pat Shurmur forced you to? Why you got to go along with Pat Shurmur? Or did somebody else at Colorado, the boosters, baby, Rick George, baby, somebody else come to you and say, we got to put in the original buff? What's really going on here? Is it a war with the original buffs versus Coach Prime? Or, and I'd like to think this is not it, is Coach Prime afraid that Pat Shurmur going to make a call to Kevin Stefanski and they're going to cut Shador? They're going to do that anyway. I like to think that that's less of it. But I need you to tell me, why is Coach Prime reluctant to hold Pat Shurmur? We're going to deal with Doc Livingston. Pat Shurmur accountable. And while you answer that question, let's pivot over here to Doc. Okay? He don't get a pass. I think he like the little quiet person in the room that's kicking up dust, but nobody's looking at him because of the distraction with the QB situation. And honestly, here's the thing. Every team getting ready to run on us. Every team getting ready to run the same game plan on us. They're going to come out and do a little razzle-dazzle, and the next thing you know, they're going to pull a Georgia Tech 10 to a U of H 3 to a Wyoming 12, and that means they're going to run up the score on us and walk away with 430 yards. That's crazy. Florida State has a new offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, and they are doing much better. U of H, 3-0, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. Why is Coach Prime reluctant to make adjustments at the offensive coordinator position? What you scared of? Didn't you hire the man? What are you scared of? You going to let your season bleed out? You going to let your best players leave in January? Ain't nobody staying there. I saw a little clip of the locker room. Juju and Kaden are united. And people talking about put Juju out there. Because if I hear CBS drag Juju one more time, it's going to be me and that lady up there. Leave Juju out of this. This whole situation was mismanaged. All it is that people pressured Coach Prime to put in the guy that they wanted. And why would he go along with that? This on him now. You should have put your foot down. You believe in Jesus, right? So you should have put your foot down and said, nah, I already chose Kaden, and we're going to run with that. If you want to fire me, fire me. Why would you go along with this embarrassment that just took place? Because they just happen to have their guy in there. And why is he their guy? What is it? Colorado want a white quarterback now? They don't want no more black quarterbacks? What's the problem? Is it because he an original buff, or is it because he white and he an original buff? If he was black, would they give a damn? Because it's not lost on me that we got Juju caught up in this mess and we got Kaden caught up in this mess. And Kaden did nothing wrong. They just wanted their guy. And why is he their guy? We're going to go with first because he's an original buff. But Pat Shurmur and his cerebral race norman language coming in from the NFL with that toxic culture that black men can't lead, and he like Ryan Staub because he thinks like a quarterback. He plays like a quarterback. Get the hell out of here with that. He don't have no business infecting a college campus with his racism. I don't have a problem with saying it. Because what else you thought he was saying? Talking about he's cerebral. That speaks to intellect. That's right up there. He came right out of the NFL with that race norman crap off the plantation. He shouldn't even be working there. He ain't even qualified to work there. He needs to go on to the retirement home with that type of Neanderthal type thinking. He clearly have an issue with black quarterbacks. He didn't give any feedback to Kaden or Juju. And Ponder and Kaden sit next to him every day. Kaden and Ponder, if y'all hear me, get the hell up and find y'all another seat. He don't respect y'all as men. He don't respect y'all as young men. So move away from him. My question is, why is Coach Prime reluctant to replace Pat Shurmur at OC? Brett Bertolone is right there on the ground from Jackson State. Coach Pollock is running from Jackson State. Coach Pollock from Jackson State is running what? He running special teams, and they doing well. So why not let Brett Bertolone, who's also on the ground from Jackson State, who was the offensive coordinator that went to the Celebration Bowl, that won the swag, why not let him call the plays? Why is Coach Prime reluctant to hold Pat Shurmur accountable, replace him, take that headset, and give it to Brett Bertalon? I don't have time to be chasing. These kids don't have time for you to be out here chasing Byron Leftwich. He either want to help out or he don't. He likely don't because the politics is so thick, you can see it through the TV screen. And the kids are caught up in that. I don't want to hear nothing else about these kids. Even the coaches are afraid to hold Pat Shurmur and the DC accountable. And it's the same conversation it was when it was Sean Lewis. Well, we have to execute the plays. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. These kids are looking to Coach Prime to lead, to be decisive and make a decision and not be a mouthpiece and say, oh, I'm responsible. And then on Monday morning, you go back there and you yelling at the kids. No. To be decisive and actionable is to get the hell rid of Pat Shurmur first. And you need to install somebody else as an interim DC unless you can't. And that takes me over to Doc Livingston. Remember what I told y'all when they paid Doc Livingston, gave him that biggest contract that a defensive coordinator has ever had? For what they were rewarding him for? What are they rewarding him for? Let's be real. He's straight trash. So they done rewarded him. So it seems like, to me, Coach Prime can't tell him nothing because he didn't get him that contract. Colorado gave Doc Livingston that contract, which means they setting up Livingston to likely be Coach Prime's successor, which explains why it is that Coach Prime is undermined by Pat Shurmur. And he just a figurehead. First, it's humiliation. You are here. You're at the part where he's being humiliated. Next, they're going to exclude him. They're going to do him just like they did Sean Livingston. All I care about at this point is those students who came there, who the clock is ticking on their time, like Kaden. They're not going to ever block for him. And I have some grades for us to look at for how people did on offense and defense, right? So my whole issue with this thing is this is a repeat of year one. Your offensive coordinator is hijacking the damn season. And this time, maybe Colorado is in on it because Coach Prime is either reluctant, unwilling, in denial, or cannot hold Shurmur or Livingston accountable. And this season is going to go to hell. And that's part of humiliating Coach Prime. I'm like, they now already did it to Shiloh. They're doing it to Shedeur. Next is Coach Prime. And Shiloh just dropped again for the first time. He did a restaurant review. So y'all go check that out. I ain't have time to look at it before I went live. So yeah, Shiloh just dropped the restaurant review. He back on social media. I'm happy. We can talk about Shedeur after this, but I think y'all see where that's headed. My problem is what's going on with Coach Prime. And the reason why I say it's a problem because unlike Shiloh's an individual. Something happened to him. It did negatively affect the whole team. And it's not like Shiloh being kicked off the team, holding the Tampa Bay Bucks back. Same thing with Shedeur. Shedeur being held back is wrong, just like it's wrong for Shiloh because I felt like he was set up is wrong, right? But at the same time, Shedeur being held back is not hurting anybody else on the team. It might be hurting the Sanders legacy, just like Shiloh being treated the way he was, hurting the Sanders legacy. And now they'd have made their way over there to Colorado by way of the NFL that Coach Prime or somebody else decided to make the OC and the DC. And it seems to me that Florida State coaches can replace their OC and DC. And so can U of H and go on to do well. But it doesn't seem to be that Coach Prime is either willing or has the power to replace the OC and DC, even on an interim basis to shake things up. The students don't have any confidence. No, they do not believe, and neither do the fans. Not at all. And I want to see him try to move on from Ryan Staub. And I want to see him put Kaden back out there. It ain't going to work. It is not going to work. You made a decision and you should have stuck with it. And the only reason you likely changed your mind is because they forced you to change your mind. Because if you made this decision voluntarily after saying that Kaden was the guy, and you know that Ryan Staub was QB3 because you named him that and you know why, then you know, like I know, that your hand was forced and you don't have no real power. And the kids are now seeing that and they pissed off because that's not what they showed up for. They didn't show up to be led by Ryan Staub. And for the kids that wanted Ryan Staub, I don't know why they wanted that either because they knew who he was. They knew exactly who he was. But I understand the wide receivers have a selfish goal. Get me the ball like Shedeur did. Shedeur gone. And this team's identity is not lost because Shador and Travis are gone. This team's identity is lost because Coach Prime is not leading. He hasn't established a tone. He has not set the identity. I asked the question before the game, are we run heavy or pass heavy? What we doing? In Georgia Tech, we look run heavy. We excluded the wide receivers. In Delaware, we tried to go both, but then we had 3 quarterbacks. At U of H, we left one failing quarterback in, and we made absolutely no adjustments. So we just let that game go to hell because we got to leave him in. Maybe somebody was sitting there going, if you take him out, I don't know, is Coach Prime being extorted? These are all questions that need answers. Who's in charge? I know Coach Prime was gone, dealing with a life-threatening illness, but he's back. But it don't seem like he's in charge. It seemed like he came back. Just like Anthony Richardson came back from an injury and Daniel Jones was sitting in his spot. And now Coach Shurmur seems to be sitting in his spot and refuses to get the hell up. And no identity has been established. We thought we were rolling with the same one we had before, but no, Shurmur decided, I want to be run heavy. Then we go to Delaware and we decide we want to mix it up with 3 quarterbacks. Again, we have no consistency. None. Who's in charge? And it should be Coach Prime. But that's not who's making the decisions. It's obvious Pat Shurmur, Ryan Staub was his guy. But is he taking the blame for Ryan Shurmur? No. For aptly, right? For Ryan Staub? No. In fact, I heard somebody say, oh, that was just a setback for Ryan Staub. You know what that tells you? That they intend to keep moving forward with him. That means the season is gone to hell. And they don't care. They just trying to tell you Coach Prime don't have no power. Because why would he allow it? Why is he dumbfounded when he know exactly who Ryan Staub was? He didn't make Ryan Staub QB1 on purpose. So did Coach Prime sell out to his players? Rather than holding Shurmur and Livingston accountable, is he selling out to his talent? These are all questions, again, that need answers. So let me see what y'all are saying. All right. It says, thank you, No Limit. Thank you, No Limit. I appreciate you. No Limit said had a great show. Thank you. It said, good evening, good evening, good evening. It said, I thought Staub had a dream. He should stay asleep. Facts. It says Staub is a backup, 3 turnovers. Right. Hello, anyone. My order went through this time. I'm excited. Hey, Nikki. Okay, I'll try to follow it. I'll definitely try to follow it. Thank you so much. It says it's the entire team. I don't think it starts with the players, though. I think the problem is it's just like year one. I think year one went this. Think about year one. If you were around in year one, we won 3 games out the gate. This time, we didn't even start off with 3 games. It's like somebody just got their feet on the gas when it comes to disruption right out the gate, and the whole season is going to go that way. And who you think going to get the blame? Coach Prime. And that seems to be the plan. With Doc Livingston being rewarded, overly rewarded, it seems like Doc Livingston is the successor. So it don't matter if the defense can't stop the run because Coach Prime going to be gone and then he going to fix it. Why would I overpay Doc Livingston? I haven't seen anything that makes me want to overpay him and pay him before I get Coach Prime's contract settled. I haven't seen anything. Nobody's talking about him at all. In fact, it seems like Shurmur is throwing up smoke screens, trying to get his way on offense and tell you who's in charge, with Coach Prime coming to him and saying, what do you want to do? Why is Coach Prime asking Pat Shurmur anything? Pat Shurmur has proven that he's awful at play calling. Even his NFL buddies know that. But yet, he's continuing down this path, not only defending Shurmur, but allowing Shurmur to continue to disrupt the program. I don't blame the players for feeling the morale is low, people ready to go. The portal opening up in January is just going to make it harder for these kids to get through the season. It don't seem like Coach Prime is interested in holding the coordinators accountable. So that means we're going 4-8 or worse, 0-12. It says Staub thought he had a dream, but he turned it into a nightmare, right? Hell, I think he knew he was trash. It says Staub had a dream. What happened? Right. It says Shiloh posted a funny video. Did you see it? Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. How you doing, 22? It said the whole team transferring after the season. Yeah, that's why I said Coach Prime seems reluctant to hold Shurmur and Livingston accountable, which means his talent is watching this happen. The players that came like Juju, who went to USC and brought them in, he owes them something other than to say we got to get these kids prepared. Don't talk about these kids not being prepared. Talk about your offensive coordinator trashing your program and hijacking your program. just like he did in year one. Or you don't want to say that because he's NFL. Yeah, there's going to be blowback from it. You either going to lose all your damn recruits and get fired, or the NFL going to treat your program like they did this year. The point is, it ain't no good way around it right now. You can't make these people do right by you not doing right by the students. It's like he got to choose. Like, why are you afraid to demote and remove Pat Shurmur when everybody is saying that's the problem? Why are you not willing to admit that we got to do something with the play calling? You went and shook it up for Delaware, but then Pat Shurmur went right back to the Georgia Tech game and U of H. It was the same game, which told Fritz how to run on you. It's told Wyoming how to run on you with Pat Shurmur calling the plays. And what did I tell y'all Fritz said in his interview? He said something about Pat Shurmur. Now, why would he talk about Pat Shurmur? I was like, why is he talking about Pat Shurmur? He was like, yeah, they got Pat Shurmur. What he a head coach in the NFL? I was like, why is that important? They playing in that man's face. They playing in his face. No cap. They playing in his face. And he let them play in his face. Because if you know that they running on you, if you know they playing you, be it Doc and Shurmur or Doc or Shurmur or Colorado or Rick George, because I ain't see Rick George. Did y'all see him yet? Then you need to put those kids in the best position to make sure they can look good and transfer out. See, what I don't like is in year one, this hurt the kids. I didn't like seeing Shador being treated that way. It's starting to happen again. They already hurt Kaden. They already hurt Juju. And people talking about just start Juju. Now, Juju and Kaden, get the hell on. I had a whole list of players that just need to go. Buyout need to go first. All people talking about on X is Colts and Hood. And how they were crazy for letting him walk. They don't know how to respect talent. Bayard was just sitting there at the back of the line, and he go out here and 14 tackles. 14 tackles. But then the kids like French and Hughes, who balled out at first, who saw that it was useless, they was at the bottom. So maybe Bayard going to be at the bottom next week because they see there's no point. The kids that's going to leave the program in good shape, if y'all can hear me, are the ones who go out there and audition every goddamn week. I don't give a damn if this team is set up to go 1-11. And don't be surprised if that's what it is. But them kids, you can't leave to January. You go out there and audition every damn week. Every week you put on a show. That's what you do. Don't worry about these grown-ups politics because it's messy. Just go out there and put on a show. Audition because another school going to pick you up. Star barely got a scholarship. I'm sure he was forced into it. Juju and Salter wasn't even talking to who? To Martin? Who is Martin? Who is Martin? Let me know. It said when Coach Prime was at home sick, Shurmur sabotaged the QB room. Yep. It said Juju leaving. Hell, Juju ain't Kaden gone. Salter should have played in the third quarter. Here's the thing. Why they didn't rotate? Because they won't stop to be the starter. So Juju can leave and Kaden can leave, which overrules Coach Prime's recruiting decisions. See, that's why I said, why you letting these people run you like this? You're not in control no more. Then tell us that. Tell them kids that so they can get in the best position to get the hell on. You ain't fooling nobody. We ain't crazy. We've been following you long enough to know that you ain't going to just allow no bad play calling. We saw you try to move on Lewis, but it took too long. And now it's going to bleed these kids' season out. Nah, you ain't saving your job. Matter of fact, this is likely happening so they can take your job, just like it did in year one. But the prime effect saved him. See, this time they ain't worried about that. This time they're going to use all of the chaos and the disruption and all of the politics and all of the this and all of the that. You're not managing. You're a good motivational speaker, but you're not managing. I'm waiting on y'all to tell me why it is that Coach Prime is not holding Shurmur and Livingston accountable. I start with Shurmur. I know why he's not holding Livingston accountable. It said Omarion and Seton both leaving. They have 40 seniors, barely have any high school recruits committed. They gonna get some. It said place a clown show. Yep. It said Prime is a mouthpiece and not a coach. It's looking like it. Prime says he takes responsibility. He's going to keep taking responsibility until he's out the door. That's what people saying. We don't give a damn about your responsibility. Where's your decision making? Where's your decisiveness? You made Kaden the starter and you backed off of that. Whoever made you back off of that, and we know Staub is Schumer's guy, is the one that's setting you up because that's crazy. That means I said it before the game. Coach Prime being undermined. And here it is. I said this game was going to be pivotal. It was going to tell us who it is that's running the show. And it ain't Coach Prime. I'm not going to tell you it's Shurmur. What I will tell you is he's reluctant to hold Shurmur and Livingston accountable. And I know Colorado paid Livingston handsomely before they even paid Coach Prime that big fat contract that he probably won't never ever see the end of. Because to me, Livingston is a successor. They ready to kick out every person around that Coach Prime had brought in. And they going to make it embarrassing too. Prime going to step down at the end of the year. He going to have to. I think while he was out sick, something happened and it showed during the game. He's not in charge. Yep. It said, 22 said because they are white and Coach Prime is not calling Shurmur and Livingston out. Right. And here's my thing, right? What I don't like about this situation is he keep running to these NFL people, whether it be Byron Leftwich, who's black, or Shurmur, who's white. You got Brett Bertelon right there, who helped you win at Jackson State. Coach Pollock came from Jackson State also and is killing it on special teams. You named Brett Bertelon the offensive pass coordinator, and Pat Shurmur wants to do anything but pass the ball. That tells you Pat Shurmur know you're trying to get rid of him, so he's going to set you the hell up and force you to force him out. He not playing nice with you while you tiptoeing around him. If you tiptoeing around Pat Shurmur to say Shedeur from Stefanski, it ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. That means you don't believe in God, like you said, because if you believe in God, you got to do what's right by these players. And damn Pat Shurmur and let God deal with Pat Shurmur. I'm not dumb. I know if you named Byron Leftwich offensive coordinator and you elevated and gave the title to Brett Bertelon, who was OC at Jackson State, you'd have made him a offensive pass coordinator. I'm not dumb, and neither is Pat Shurmur. He might be evil, but he ain't dumb. He know you trying to move him out the way, so he gonna sink your ship until you do. Why you tiptoeing? Why you tiptoeing? You ain't gonna save Shedeur. Is that why you tiptoeing? Or you don't want to go against the NFL who has gone against your whole damn family? Why you tiptoeing? This is where people want him to be decisive. Be the person we expect him to be and get the hell rid of Pat Shurmur before he sink the whole damn ship. Too late. Because now all schools know Pat Shurmur working for their benefit. When I heard Coach Fritz mention Pat Shurmur, I was like, why is he mentioning the offensive coordinator? You see why. 3 and outs. It gets the defense tired. Shurmur did all that campaigning for Ryan Staub to get in there and stick up the plays and run the same plays he did against Kaden Salter. But I thought Kaden was a bad quarterback. Now he just wanted his guy, Ryan Staub, in there because he knew it was trash. This is about Coach Prime and making him look bad because Coach Prime tried to replace him. What happened? Let me tell you something. When you want to fire somebody, you better just fire them because when they found out that you going to fire them or you working to move them out, they're going to tear up everything. And that's what's happening. Shurmur know that he about to be forced out, but Coach Prime seems to be dragging his feet. You ain't fooling nobody. You ain't fooling Shurmur either. He just going to set you up like Herm Edwards and call bad games to wear your defense out. You can't stop the run. And don't be surprised if Staub got to remain the quarterback. That ensures the season's going straight to hell. And you're going to lose all your recruits. This is about attacking Coach Prime. And Pat Shurmur seems to be leading the way. And Coach Prime seems to be afraid to hold him accountable. You ain't going to get nowhere like that. You don't believe in Jesus if you're scared. Livingston is bad, right? And see, if he can't get rid of Livingston because Colorado, then that tells me that all of this Staub and all of this Shurmur is also Colorado. See, he thought he brought in Shurmur. It seems to me that when they got wind, he wanted to get rid of Lewis. They went and found Lewis's replacement, which keeps Lewis in the seat. Who said that Lewis is getting ready to be back in the Power 5 because his school, San Diego State, is moving back into the Pac-12? It ain't no coincidences, people. They looked out for Lewis. They ain't looking out for Coach Prime. Prime not going with the losing. Yeah, we gonna see. It say Livingston leaving at the end of the year. Yeah. It say Staub definitely had Shurmur on his side. Yeah, Staub earned his opportunity. Salter earned the bench. It said Shurmur is his OC. You trust your staff. It said now he can step in. Ain't no passes. Yeah, I don't know what you're saying, boo. It said, I think Colorado fundraisers don't like all the cameras in their program. Now that's possible. Everybody leaving. Yeah, they're going to get put out. It said he has been out. Prime needs to connect to his team. Yeah, I don't think that's it though. It's not the team. See, what people don't understand is the players see what we see. The players see poor play calling and Coach Prime not correcting it. The players saw the press conference where Coach Prime defended Lewis and Coach Prime defended Shurmur. They know that don't make no sense to them because Coach Prime preaches win, 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 consistency, discipline, this, that, and the other, but he's not living up to it. He's not being decisive to the things that he's been preaching to them. So they giving up. I don't blame them. The morale is low. You can't go in and ask people, do you believe, and keep holding the kids accountable, but you absolutely refuse to hold Livingston and Shurmur accountable. And when they figure out that he's not in control, whatever, they just show up late then. It's like the people in charge that's making this happen at CU just waiting for Coach Prime to move on. Just like Cleveland is just waiting for the season to end to kick Shador out. They don't want him as their quarterback. And it seems like the people that did want Coach Prime, the voices are starting to get collective and get louder. And they starting to put action behind it. Even if it makes him look bad, just like Stefanski made Shador look bad. I told y'all, there's a big correlation to what's happening in Cleveland to what's happening in Colorado. It said, Adelius Thomas should be the DC. He played for the Ravens. See, I'm starting to wonder, can he not have a black OC in DC? He never has. I don't think he ever has. Maybe at Jackson State, but Brett Bertelon isn't black either. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know with trying to bring in Leftwich, what was the problem? But here's the thing. You can't make a transition of power and you can't start it and stop it and not complete it, because now the cat is out the bag. You trying to get rid of Shurmur and he trying to get rid of you. See, that's what I see. And Schumer's choosing his words carefully. Shurmur knows what he's saying when he's telling the Buff fans, I like the way Staub plays quarterback. He thinks like a quarterback. He's beckoning into the racism that's running around there, because it's around there. He's beckoning into the old guard. He's beckoning into the people that want Coach Prime gone because they don't want a black head coach or they don't want a black head seat. He knows what he's doing when he says, Coach Prime asked me to do. That's to tell them to go back and pressure their friends who are in power to just go ahead and make Shurmur the head coach, because Shurmur knows the players relate. And Coach Prime asked him what to do anyway. That's what that was about. That's the dog whistle. Apparently, I understand doganese. Yeah, see, he tipped his hand when he was trying to bring in Byron Leftwich and name him the offensive analyst, and then Leftwich left. That told Shurmur, oh, this ain't gonna work. So now Shurmur have moved in and he trying to retaliate. I'm gonna get you out of here. I already know they paid Doc before they paid you. Yeah, he just started a war. He should have just named. All he got to do right now is when Pat Shurmur come to work, just meet him at the door and have all his stuff in the box, and make sure you talk to Brett Bertelon and tell him you are interim. You don't need to name nobody permanently. You are the interim. You are the interim offensive coordinator. Let's see how this goes. And then do Doc next. They know Coach Prime got to win. They know he got to win. It said Staub had a dream. Prime out of his mind for that. Yeah, a lot of people didn't like that. It said maybe the deal is for Prime to do this and for them and get something later. Like what deal? It said, I'm not saying I condone it. I think Prime is working a strategy. I don't. I don't. Because who is he trying to prove a strategy to? By allowing Shurmur to disrupt the program. By allowing Doc to disrupt the program. Who's he proving a strategy to? His bosses? If he got to tell his bosses, I'm better than them, that his bosses already don't believe in him. You see? So no, it's not a strategy. And if it was, you know what he should have did? He should have pulled Ryan Staub out of that game after he was stinking up the place and put Salter back in there. Did he do that? No. Why? Because he know there are people that want it to be Staub and they don't care if he trashed the place. So they didn't chose Staub over Coach Prime. And they don't care if it burns Juju and Kaden. That's what they want. This is a power grab. It said Livingston should not be the defensive coordinator. When in the NFL, all of the coach was a defensive back. Oh, Lord. Again, that NFL situation not working for Coach Prime. That's what it is. The NFL situation is just not working for Coach Prime. And either he's in denial about it and he don't want to move off of it, or he's scared, or he can't. He afraid that if he move off of it, it's gonna make waves that he to fire some NFL people. But hey, it's gonna be you or them. You're gonna lose your students. It said Colorado going to cut their NIL budget in the offseason to push Deion out. They can't. They can't. Remember, the NIL is now controlled by the money that comes in, the revenue sharing. They can't cut that. Now, what they can't do is the money on top of that, they can cease. They can be like, you know what? We're not going to give you no extra money. So that means you can't pay a quarterback $5 million. Like Texas Tech paid one O lineman $5 million. We're not going to be able to do that. So that's going to hurt recruiting. So yes and no. It said Georgia Tech is good and Clemson. No. Now imagine had we beat Georgia Tech when we had them on the ropes. Pat Shurmur gave away that game just like he did to U of H. It's not a coincidence that we beat Delaware. Let's be clear. Georgia Tech mattered. U of H mattered. Delaware did not. Did not at all. Georgia Tech mattered because you see they just beat Clemson. What does that do for Colorado? If Colorado beats Georgia Tech goes to beat Clemson. It gives a program credibility. Pat Shurmur knew what he doing. The game ran the same way at U of H. Bubble screens in and out. Bubble screens 3 and out. Wearing down the defense. This man going to do this all season long. And for Coach Prime to say he dumbfounded is crazy because I know he's smarter than that. And to be siding with the people taking you down is crazy. It said they may promote Livingston the head coach. I think they already decided. I do. I told y'all when they were doing the whole contract thing in the summer and this, that, and the other, and it was supposed to be Coach Prime was going to the NFL, even though I knew that was just leverage. I don't think Colorado liked that. Because while he was waiting to get his contract, they paid Livingston. I said, oh, they done already gave Livingston the nod. So just like in Cleveland, they don't give two craps about this season. We don't. Shador can sit there and Coach Prime can sit there. We just waiting to get past this season and we're going to make some changes. I don't even know how much of his $54 million contract he would even get if he gets ousted at the end of the season. And they might have thought about that before they did it. It said they're going to fire everybody Prime brought in. It said Sapp may get a chance at Miami. Yeah, they're going to everybody. The people you see and the people you don't see. Because one of the worst things he did, in my opinion, was change his mind on Salter. See, that was the beginning of the end. It showed that you don't have no power. And the kids, they already were thinking it because you defended Shurmur and Livingston when they play under them. Those kids knew buyout should have been out there, just like I did. Everybody's saying it. It's the new kids holding down the program. The older kids are not. Oh, Marion, everybody talking about that shuttle pass that Star made. Go back and watch that film. Omarion was asking him, give me the ball. Just throw it to me right quick. That was Omarion. And when Staub tried to get it with the next person, it failed. He's not a quarterback. He's just like a Dylan, a wedge, a cog for disruption. They don't care about him either. He know he ain't no damn quarterback. They talking about he been waiting. For what? For what? They just didn't want to admit he wasn't good, or they knew he wasn't good. And they just want to make Coach Prime look bad, which is why I don't know why he dumbfounded. You didn't name Staub QB1. You didn't even name him QB2. He was QB3, and he played like it. He don't even need a scholarship. I want you to put Ponder out there. And they didn't make no adjustments. As if he had taken Staub out the game. I don't know. Somebody was going to press the red button. Why would you leave Staub in and not make any adjustments? How can you be dumbfounded when you know you had him at QB3? What were you expecting? He dumbfounded because he stabbed Salter in the back. Talking about how do your teammates feel about you? I don't give a damn what no 22-year-old kid with a underdeveloped frontal lobe think. They didn't hire you to go along with what them damn kids say. They hired you, the adult in the room, to bring your wisdom and experience. What the hell is you worrying about with some kids in the student section cheering? How the hell they even know what's going on? And you fell for the banana in the tailpipe and you got played. That's what should be dumbfounded about. That you allow yourself to get played. You know what I said after we got off? After the game, I said, "Dear Lord, Jesus in heaven, please do not ever let me get played like Coach Prime did. Always be with me, keep me aware, because I don't ever want to be played like that." He got played. You got conned into doing to Kaden what Stefanski is doing to your son. You got conned into putting Staub in for this year and next year, and that's going to run off Juju and Kaden and Ponder. You're going to have Colton Allen and you're going to have Ryan Staub. There was a coach going around saying that he was the one that convinced Ryan Staub to stay. Why? Why? He not good. Why is anybody expecting Staub to be good when he not? They said maybe because the NFL is one of the smallest corporations on the planet and Prime wants to be in it again. Not saying I condone that, but I'm saying that's the case. If you think so, okay. It says SAP is a loose cannon. It said Colorado school got old money. Yup, old money and old values. It said this team doesn't have any heart. It said they had more heart last year. It's not that they don't have heart. These teams are caught up in internal politics just like year one. This ain't no different than year one. The only reason people can't see it is because we at the beginning of the season. How many games have we lost? And look who we lost to. How many more Delawares are we getting ready to play? What did I say? Why this game was so pivotal? Because if we can't stop the run in this game, it's going to tell every opponent that we get ready to play, it's going to be justified for us to lay down and let them run over us by Pat Shurmur's play calling. For Doc Livingston not getting the players prepared. The players could be prepared all day. But Doc Livingston can't seemingly stop the run. And why does he get a pass? Why does Shurmur get a pass? Why is it always the kids? It's not the kids. The kids know Coach Prime is not holding Livingston and Shurmur accountable, especially Shurmur. Everybody knows Schumer's play calling is trash. Doc gets a pass because most people don't really look at the defense like that. We just want to know why it is they can't stop the run. We got a whole new crop of players, and we still can't stop the run. So you can't blame the students. That's easy to blame the students. Coach Prime taking responsibility. How about be decisive and stick to your damn decisions and hold people accountable? It's funny how they changed the O-line in this game. Remember the people I was complaining about on the right side? They didn't play. They didn't play. See, Staub gets the protection. Shador didn't get it. Juju didn't get it. And Kaden didn't get it. So either he can't protect them, so might as well just let it go up in smoke because he can't protect them. The only person that gets protected is Staub. The only person people trying to convince from leaving is Staub, and he's not a good quarterback. Can you make that make sense? It's because he's an original buff, and Coach Prime came in and fired those folks. And I think he must be one of the few last ones around. But it's the quarterback position, the king, the face of the team. And they want it to be Staub, whether he's good or not. Tyler Shaw, Jackson Dart, it's the same thing. This is about power and the decisions. Who makes the decisions? And Shurmur wants to be the decision maker. The question is, why would Coach Prime allow it? The buyout of Coach Prime's contract is able to be accomplished. Okay, yeah, because I think he does have a buyout of $10 or $8 million or something like that. If he's gone, I don't know what happens if he leaves rather than voluntarily or involuntarily. But believe me, they know. They already knew before they gave it to him. I heard Seton agent reaching out to schools. Of course. Of course. Here's the thing. When I said those kids were getting repped up by these big time people, what did I say? I said, well, that's early, right? But then we started to realize the whole left witch in and out, the politics, and then the post that I saw before the season started. This been going on. This been going on. And it seemed like when Coach Prime was gone, they got comfortable with him being gone and they don't want him to come back. That's what it's giving. Prime may go coach Canadian football. It ain't gonna matter. It said, when does Prime new contract start? I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe somebody look it up. Hey, Val, how you doing? It said, nah, he's not going to Canada. It said they will force Prime to walk away to avoid paying a buyout. Oh, okay. I think he still has to pay the buyout, though, if he leave early. Somebody, we can look into it. Maybe I can find it or something, and maybe we'll look at it tomorrow. Said Kaden Salter family was at the game. They showed up deep from Dallas. They showed up deep. They did. They did. And you know what, though? See, Prime, like, he shouldn't have did that, bro. It's a few things you can't do, right? If when you are black and you in white spaces, the last thing you can do is stab a black person in the back, because everybody's looking at you to be the one to stand against the establishment, because you got through the door. So we expect you to be the one to keep everybody honest. We expect you to be the one to fend off this type of racism where, oh, we got to have Ryan Staub be the quarterback because he white and he's cerebral and he think we expect you to fend that off, and you didn't. You didn't. You let Pat Shurmur force your hand. You let Ryan Staub embarrass the hell out of you. When we saw Ryan Staub in that Delaware game, we saw him throw bombs. How long did it take for them to throw the ball downfield in that game versus U of H? It took all night. And he actually connected with JoJo. Now, imagine had he started out that way. There was a reason why they didn't. I'm telling you, they set him up. They set him up. They showed you at the end he could have got it done. And now with them saying it's a setback, that's telling Prime you're going to have to move forward. I'm telling you, they're going to make him move forward with Ryan Staub. They know what it's going to do. It said Prime going to do what he going to do, what he want to do. Yeah, I don't know. I think he doing what they want him to do. Boosters made him play Staub. Somebody did. Somebody did, because it's definitely the original Buffs versus Coach Prime. Or it's definitely racism versus Coach Prime. It's definitely we want a white quarterback versus a black one, Coach Prime. They didn't want Juju or Kaden. Go back and listen to Pat Shurmur's interview. Talk about, yeah, when all the recruiting was happening, y'all were there. Staub and I have a good relationship. He's telling you. If you ain't got to read between the lines. He's telling you he was the guy. He helped him pick out his plays. But then why is he called a trash game versus U of H? Why he didn't let Staub look good? Because it's about making Coach Prime look bad. It's about losing. We're going to lose to every damn body that matters. It's about making Coach Prime look like he's not in control. It's about making Coach Prime look like a sellout. Because I'm telling y'all, a lot of people are not happy with the way Kaden was treated by Coach Prime. People feel like he set him up, like he just stabbed him in the back. It said, I don't think Prime sees an issue with the OC and DC. Then he blind, boo. Then he blind. I think he don't want to see it, Nikki. I think he don't want to see it. It said they know Prime got a lot of pride. And they playing Prime like a fiddle, yeah. It said Shurmur play calling is outdated. It's trash. Boosters got the power. That's what it seems. Somebody got it. Somebody got it. Somebody came with this style thing. And personally, I know that Shurmur was the guy pulling the strings, but I think he been having some conversations with people who are in the decision-making seats. And he done convinced them that he the one in charge. And as you can see, he getting his way. And he the one that's going to convince them to move out his good buddy. They are discussing buying out Coach Prime contract. Yeah. It said Georgia Tech beat number 1 Clemson. Yup. It said, I don't think they thought Prime was going to come back. Here's the thing. Even if you didn't think he was not going to come back, he's back. He's back. And here's the thing. Coach Prime don't have to go along with their decisions. What could they have on you? What position could you possibly be in to let them force you to change away from the guy that you say earned the quarterback position to a guy that you knew was going to stink up the place? And then now you're dumbfounded. What could they possibly tell you to force you into what Pat Shurmur wants to do? What? What? They didn't kidnap none of your kids. I just saw Shiloh on he dropped another vlog. Go watch it if you're just not joining us. He dropped another food restaurant review. He need to keep doing those. Shador, that situation they already know what they're going to do with Shador. They just holding him for draft capital. And they're going to move him out. So Coach Prime can't do nothing about that. Because they're going to move him out now or they're going to move him out later. Hell, if he move out now, they'll stop humiliating him. Because right now, he's just being humiliated. He just not letting it get to him. But Coach Prime, they working on humiliating him. They are actually humiliating Coach Prime. Next, they're going to exclude him. Too many yes men. It said boosters got the power. Yep, they sure do, especially when it comes to these football programs. They sure do. It said Coach Prime should not let those players in the locker room take a voting poll on who they want playing QB, and they voted Staub. That was shameless to Kaden and Juju. Right, and here is the thing. When do we do that? When has Coach Prime, when has at Jackson State, Coach Prime, we have never, ever let them kids tell him what to do. Why the hell you letting these kids tell you what to do? Why you letting the student section cheering for Staub force you into a decision to go with Staub against your own best judgment? That's how people get fired. You knew better, but you didn't do better. They setting him up. Every damn game we play, as long as Pat Shurmur's calling the plays, it's going to go down to hell. And that means he can't fire Pat Shurmur. And that should tell him his exit was pre-planned. Pre-planned. He just going to find out how long it's been planned. It said, yeah, they want to force him out. It said, Juju leave it. They all going. All them kids going, bruh. When them kids start repping up, I said, something ain't right. I said, these kids are freshmen. London Merritt repping up, and you see they out here balling. See, the older guys, I guess they're not in a position. But you see these younger guys repped up and they out here balling. You know why? Because they know that portal going to open in January. Maybe some of these other guys don't have the time, so they're not worried about it. It's going to work out for Kaden somewhere else. Ryan Martin Luther Staub after Arch Manning. Yes, Lord. They calling him trash again. I think Arch is hurt. He going to have to be for people to stop calling him trash. They cut Geesh. What? The second quarterback on the roster? Are you serious? They cut Geesh? What? Well, Geesh was the second quarterback on the roster. Why they cut him? That's crazy. I got to go look into that. Let me see what else y'all saying. Feel bad for Prime. Not funny. Let me tell you something. We all got decisions in life. We do. And you can't say you believe in God and you bend to the will of human beings. You can't do that. You can't say Kaden earned it, so I made him the starter. And 2 weeks later, before we even get to the second game, mind you, you take Kaden out after he does good versus Delaware. You put Staub in. You got Juju out here looking bad, even though it ain't his fault. Because the same thing happened to Kaden happened to Juju. Pat Shurmur in that goddamn right side of the O-line. But you knew enough to fix the right side of the O-line going into this game. So that tell me you knew that they set Kaden and Juju up, but you letting it happen. And even if you talk, I don't even think he's talking to their parents. I can tell by Juju's reaction and Kaden's reaction. Juju and Kaden are united. And I saw Jordan Seaton slowly walk back into the locker room like, man, I'm going to have to make that call. These people all have agents just waiting for them for the thumbs up. Everybody talking about Colton Hood getting out for a reason. So what this does for a next black head coach in the Power 5, they're not going to come to the school because they're going to be like, oh, well, shit, I might as well go to a white school because if the black coach can't protect me or help me, then what the hell? That's the message that it sends. That Coach Prime ain't no different than the white head coaches. So why go there? That's how you know that this disruption is pre-planned. They know he relates to the kids, but he's not relating to the kids right now. He think he is by doing what the kids want. I'm like, did you not stop to think for 5 seconds that putting Staub in this year, had it worked out, would negate your position with Juju? But you knew Staub wasn't going to work out. And now your whole damn team is in disarray. And you saying we got to get these kids prepared, bro. We tired of you blaming these kids. We tired of you blaming these kids. So if this was some kind of stunt, then you shouldn't have alienated Kaden that his whole damn family would show up like they did, because I saw their faces. You done alienated Juju. You done alienated most of them kids. They don't see you standing up against Pat Shurmur. They see you enabling it and going along with it to the point where you would hurt Kaden, a black player. Bruh, that's the worst thing you could have did. That's the dagger right there. I told you, Shurmur gonna be his most regrettable hire. It said Prime ain't never believed in no Staub. Nope. It said no crossing routes. Everybody going deep. Yup. It said my 15-year-old kid can call better plays than CU defensive and OU. Yup. Hey, Ron, I'm Ron Burgundy. How you doing? Play calling is trash, right? Juju's gone. Hell, they all gone. Staub probably won't start again. It wouldn't be surprised if he out there next week. When I heard them say, oh, this is just a setback for Staub, I said, here we go. Here we go. That means he got to be the quarterback because that's what they want. That means it don't matter. What Coach Prime decided has been undone. So that means he don't have a decision-making ability. Prime need to put that foot down. Right, Ted? Both of them. It said Juju got $1 million to chill, right? It said, I think it's not just about chilling. Juju don't like what he see happening with the situation, the same situation people are saying Byron Leftwich left behind. Politics. These kids may or may not be able to verbalize what they're looking at, but they know it ain't right. They know it's crazy for Coach Prime to continue to support Pat Shurmur, even before we get to the defensive side of the ball. It's crazy to have Bayard sitting there and not play him. And then he get out there and ball out. It's crazy to have Hughes ball out in the first game, but he don't have him in the second game. I keep calling him French Montana. Martavius French balled out at Georgia Tech, Delaware. He was at the bottom of the list this time. They know what they're doing. They holding back the best. They holding back the best. Why would you start with guys that didn't give you nothing in Georgia Tech? They know what they're doing, bro. These players have a way of rebelling as well and bonding together to just not give a damn. It said, I think while he was out, something happened and he is not in control. Well, that means they don't want him to come back. That speaks to what I said. He was gone. They liked it when he wasn't there and they don't want him back. They just signed this contract, so they're going to set him up to fail, look like he can't coach, disruption everywhere, make the kids leave, make his recruits leave. They're going to install who they want with the quarterback. Then they're going to install who they want as the head coach. They already got Staub in there. Let me see him flip back the other way. It ain't going to work because Pat Shurmur not going to call plays conducive to Juju and Kaden. He already showed you that in Georgia Tech. And you changed the O-line, which meant you knew. But you still want to roll with Staub. Okay, well, prop Staub up all season. You go right ahead. You're going to have to do without me, though. Stoudemire and somebody can't tackle. Finesse. They say tackling is an issue. It said Prime getting that remember the Titans vibe. It said voting poll for QB. Is that even true or misinformation? They're saying that he shouldn't listen to those kids. If he gonna listen to the kids, they just gonna go out and hire a 22-year-old coach. You can't listen to the kids. Then wide receivers had their own reason for wanting to have Staub. They thought he was like Shador. I don't know why the hell they thought that. When you accept abuse, people abuse you more. Facts. It said Kaden and Juju feel betrayed by Coach Prime because they were promised the starting jobs. Now it's going to hurt their recruiting. Right. It said Bayard had like 15 tackles. Right. Why wasn't he out there for the Georgia Tech game? I told y'all before the season, I did who is named this buff, and it was Bayard. I said, they said this dude is a dog. I watched him in practice. I said, this dude is a dog. They know what they're doing. They sitting on talent. Just like on offense. They got all that talent on offense, and they sitting on it. It said one slip up, and they will hand it back over to Coach Yost. I don't know who that is, but yep. Prime not staying. He ain't going to have no choice. It said we got to start realizing Prime can't coach. I don't think it's that he can't coach. I think every time I don't know who hired Sean Lewis, but this is the second year out of 3. The second year out of 3, his offensive coordinator hijacked his season. The only way he made it last year was Shador and Travis. That's what that tells you. Year 1, Sean Lewis. That's a message to Coach Prime. Why you keep hiring these people? Why you don't? Brett Bertolone is right there. This is a message in loyalty. Look what happened to Kaden. You're not being loyal if you do what you did to Kaden. And it's happening to your son. You know they tricked you into doing to Kaden what they doing to your son. That's failing a loyalty test. I didn't say be loyal to Kaden if he's bad, but is he going to be loyal to Staub even though he's bad? Because just like in NFL, they don't care if certain quarterbacks are bad as long as they're white. And that's what it seems like is happening at Colorado. Or they just want to upend Coach Prime's choices, but they didn't gravitate to none of them. They got 3 out of 5 black quarterbacks. They didn't gravitate to none of them. None of them. It had to be Staub because he been here. Did they not know he wasn't good or they don't care? But the question is, why is Coach Prime enabling Pat Shurmur at this stage? You willing to let your whole season go up in smoke? All your recruits flip somewhere else. All of your best players walk. All right. Your reputation just trashed. I just hate Coach Prime fell for the Staub hype. Yep. And I'm telling you, that's the dagger right there. It said, this is tired and true snatch and grab. Yep. That's all it is. And how do you not know it's a power grab? I mean, if nothing else, you should be thinking, well, damn, I guess they got comfortable with me gone. So they want to keep me out of the way. At least think that. At least think that. And go, you know what? I'm back now. Thank you, Shurmur. Move on out the way. Here, Brett Bertolone. Hold this headset. I need you to be the intern. You knew what you was doing when you named Brett Bertolone the past offensive coordinator. And Pat Shurmur said, touche, got you, when he did everything but pass the damn ball. That's how he kept Brett Bertolone out the way. You see? That means Pat Shurmur is like trying to fight Coach Prime, moving him out the way. And Coach Prime think he doing something by acting like ain't nothing wrong. We all see it, and so do the players. I don't want to hear nothing about the players when they had Bayard sitting over there when he could have been playing. Is K-Star starting next week? I hope not. Prime know the fix is in. He better. It say, yes, Shurmur and Livingston got to go. Yeah, we going to see if that can happen. Honestly, Prime seems uninterested. It might be his last year. If he leaves, I will never watch another CU game. You and a lot of other people, I was always trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to do with this CU jacket I'm sitting on. I'm like, I guess I just, maybe put it on eBay or something like that. It said, I feel bad for Prime. I don't. Not after not what he did to Kaden. Not unless he think he protecting Kaden. Do you think he checked out? NFL has done a number on a family. Well, here's the thing. He invited the NFL into his Colorado house, and now they doing a number on him. I think this is more about Coach Prime's fascination with the NFL and loyalty on when it's crunch time, who it is you need to be loyal to, why it is you choosing to bow to Shurmur and risk alienating, which you already did. Why are you willing to risk alienating Salter and Juju? What is it about this situation that you would lean towards Shurmur's way and you would upend your recruiting? You would just burn it all down to follow Shurmur. For what? Does this have anything to do with the NFL? Does this have anything to do with Schumer's connection to Stefanski and what could happen to Shedeur? Either way, you letting your whole house burn for something you can't save. If they already decided to fire you, alienate these kids in your program, it ain't the way. You can't save Shedeur from Stefanski. If anything, it should teach you to stop bringing them NFL folks into your house. And stop thinking that you have some type of relationship with the NFL, because you don't. They don't like you. I hate to say it, but they do not. You didn't do anything wrong. They just don't want your legacy to outshine the Mannings, and you can't change their mind at all. And the biggest indicator of that is Jerry Jones letting Shedeur fall to 144 and be humiliated in Cleveland. They sticking together about 17-32. You should have stuck with Kaden Salter, and if them folks want to fire you, then so be it, because they're going to do it anyway. When it's crunch time, your choices matter. His choices were bad, and he going to pay the price. I like Coach Prime, but I can't imagine what in the hell would make you pick Kaden and be adamant about it and scoff at these damn reporters and go, what do you mean? Of course it's Kaden. He earned it. But then, before we even get to the second game, somebody pressured you to put in style. And you didn't just go along with it and sit back quietly. You had to talk about it in your team meeting, talking about how your teammates feel about you. I don't give a damn how my coworkers feel about me, but they're going to respect me. You wanted some 22-year-olds to give a damn about a quarterback that you brought in. You wanted some 22-year-olds not to be selfish. Yeah, some wanted Staub to get it because he was an original buff. But the wide receivers just wanted somebody to pass them the ball like Shedeur. But you decided to go away from that style of offense. But you didn't tell them that. So with Staub, you need to get his ass together and go back to the Shiloh Sanders style offense and make sure somebody else calling the plays, because Pat Shurmur clearly don't want to do that. He's selling you up the river every game. We're going to be sitting here for 8 games and they're going to go, God damn, she was right. Yeah. Pat Shurmur ran the same offense with his guy in the game. Get that. Shurmur set up Staub with 2 long passes to razzle and dazzle everybody. He knew it would get everybody involved because he said it. Oh, I knew the kids would respond to Staub. You see? That's who's being strategic. But then when it come time to the game, he don't call that kind of play. He don't call those long, deep passes until the end. He could have did that in the beginning. But nope. I wanted to 3 and out, wear the offense down, make it look like Coach Prime made a bad decision. He'd have stabbed Kaden in the back. He'd have decided the name stop, which is really my choice. But it makes Coach Prime look bad. And that's the goal, to make Coach Prime look incompetent. And he's enabling it by, for whatever reason, supporting Shurmur. And I don't think it has nothing to do with Colorado. I don't. I feel like Coach Prime don't want to alienate the NFL by firing Shurmur. That's what I think. He might have let that go. Prime might have to go back to a HBCU. I'm done after this. I'm done. Because, see, once you show me who you are, once you do something like he did, he didn't have to waver. He changed his own mind and went against what he knew what was best. And to make matters worse, try to say that because the players like style and they don't like you. What the hell is that? And then you go along with their foolishness and now you look crazy. You done caused all kind of mess to happen. And you want to sit up there and push and alienate the people you brought in when that's exactly what they want you to do. So you can make Stop the guy. They know Stop trash. They got to. How could they not know that? They don't watch the practices. They on TV. It said the whole team from coaches to players just seem uninterested because it's chaotic. It's chaotic. It said Pat has been fired at every NFL job. Right. So I don't even know how he got this job. I don't even know how he got this job. I'm not even sure how he got this job at all. It just don't make no sense to me. Let's see, who is this? East Coast said, blaming Shurmur while the defense has allowed 400 plus yard weeks in a row is crazy work. Let's face it, Prime has too many yes men around him. Babe, we blame the offense and the defense, but we already know that Colorado overpaid Lewis before they paid Coach Prime. So we got that. Everybody can see the defense can't stop the run. But once again, the decision came because why? The decision was Coach Prime backtracking on what he knew to be the best thing going forward. He even said, I want to go with the guy that gives us the best chance to win. How the hell could you think Stop could give you the best chance to win when you named him QB3? In what world does QB3 give you the best chance to win over Kaden and Juju? And you didn't take Stop out the game one time. You could have put in Juju. You could have put in Kaden. That means you moving off the recruits that you brought in. That means that you wouldn't have let Pat Shurmur cause an offense that excludes the wide receivers that you brought in. And that's exactly what Coach Prime said. And the problem is your OC and your DC trash. And you brought both of them in. And it don't look like you can fire neither one of them, which means they have more power than you. That's what that means. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. That's exactly what that means. He won't hold neither one of them accountable. I'm not going to sit up here and talk about Livingston all night. I said that before the game. I dropped 2 videos talking about don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. The run game. We got to focus on the run. These people know what they're doing. Julian Johnson Law. Black people underestimate Jim Crow. That's one. And number 2 is how long they willing to go. They being plotting. Why would they want to push up a QB3 that doesn't give them a chance to win? Because they know he going to lose. And it shows who has power. And it's not Coach Prime. And they're going to take him down. And he didn't have to agree with the damn decision. That's what get me. Why are you agreeing with what these fools doing? What's in it for you that you would sell out Kaden and Juju? I told y'all this wasn't just about Kaden. This is about Kaden and Juju. You don't think he could have put Juju in that game? He could have put Ponder in that game. Coach Prime told every quarterback he got, except for Staub, to get the hell on. Seathan gonna keep the Maybach. Yeah, he gonna keep it. If Staub remains QB1, I may sell my tickets. You and a lot of people. Prime should have went out on his sword. Yeah, I would have had all of my conditions back and close friends trust. You know what's crazy? And here's the thing. They might have thought that it was going to be a fight because they may have actually thought he would put up a fight. They did. I think they thought he was going to put up. Think about this situation. I told you this ain't no different than what's happening to Shador, right? They don't want Shador there. They don't want Coach Prime there. So they humiliate Shador. They exclude Shador. They're currently humiliating Coach Prime, they're going to start excluding him. There's going to be meetings he ain't going to be in as it get closer to the end of the season, because that's all they trying to do. It's just get to the end of the season to make a move. Or they going to sit here and everybody going to know what? That he not in control, and that's humiliating. That's humiliating. And for him to say he's dumbfounded, that style didn't work out. Okay, well, let me see you. Who you gonna do? What you gonna do next week with your quarterback situation? Because your locker room trash. Your locker room trash. What you gonna do? Go begging back to Salter? You gonna go begging back to Juju? Did you even set Juju up to face pressure? Or y'all just been out there throwing the ball, pitch and catch all summer? Juju ain't happy, and neither is Kaden. And I know Ponder now, because they done excluded him from the very beginning. Coach Prime and Pat Shurmur. Like he just ain't there. And Ed Reed brought him there. It's a bad message. Staub just glad to be on the field. He ain't a winner now. He just glad to be out there. It said Prime should have went out on a sword. Show should have. Staub is done after the last game. We gonna see. It say, sis, you seen the games today? Nope. It say Staub he drank the magical Kool-Aid. He did something. It say, I don't even care no more. I understand, Mac. I understand. It say, if I was Prime, I would tell Bucky and everyone else to stop filming. It said, this sorry team don't deserve cameras around. It said, they playing sorry and they looking sorry. They thinking sorry. I ain't mad at the team. I ain't mad at the team at all, because you can only expect people to put up with so much team politics. People don't want to admit this is year one playing out in year 3. See, when you get to when you lose the next game and then you lose the one after that, because again, I don't know how many Delawares we have. I know it. Think about what would have happened had we won Georgia Tech. Think about what would happen had we beat U of H. Think about it. We probably would be down there close to being ranked. We just sliding further and further down. And that's to say Coach Prime can't coach. It said, why are you against Ryan Staub? Huh? Are you talking to me? I'm not against Ryan Staub, but he's not good. He's not good at all. Leftwich is dealing with family issues. Okay. Prime is a brand. He knows the deal. No, he don't. Shurmur about to try to get him before he got. Right. I'm like, if he knew the deal, he would know Shurmur is setting him up. And if he knew the deal on Monday morning, I would see Brett Bertolone with a title that says interim offensive coordinator. The longer you see Pat Shurmur calling them plays, and Coach Prime don't stop the bleeding, because he can't. Or he refused to. He either in denial, he's scared, or he can't. That's all that's left. It said Buff looked so bad yesterday, I couldn't even watch. Oh, that was painful. It was insufferable. Somebody pump your brakes, because Coach Prime brought in a plethora of trophies last year. Don't nobody give a damn about no trophies from last year when we clearly see that year 3 looks like year 1. See, y'all need to go past what happened last year. Them kids gone. They tried to stop Shedeur, but it didn't work, because Shedeur, we don't have a Shedeur. We don't have nobody to go out there and buck Pat Shurmur on his play calling, knowing they trying to get to the league and the league gonna come down on them and treat them like they treat Shedeur. People forget Shedeur is being ostracized in the NFL because he changed Pat Shurmur's play calling. Kaden ain't gonna do it, and he shouldn't have to. Juju's not gonna do it. He shouldn't have to. No other black quarterback should do it, but they're gonna be expected to survive, because that's how they get you out. This ain't about no damn winning. They been plotting on Coach Prime. They tried it in year 1 and they back to try it in year 3. And so far it's working. Why? Because Coach Prime seemingly is letting it happen. Brett Bertolone is right there. That man could have been calling the plays in the second half of Georgia Tech. But now, what is he doing? Waiting on Byron Leftwich, who is an NFL person? You got to stop relying on these NFL people. And if you don't trust Brett Bertolone, why you brought him with you to Colorado? Why you just named him offensive pass coordinator? It's the reason why Pat Shurmur don't call no pass plays. He don't want to include Bertolone until he the boss. So he being bit by the snake that he brought to the party. So y'all got to understand that. Y'all got to understand that. It said they need to deactivate Pat Shurmur door badge. Block him from entering the bill. I know that's right. It said get him gone. Facts. Colorado 4-8. That's where we headed. Shit, it might be 1-11. It wouldn't surprise if it end up 1-11, because that's a message. It said Prime left Staub in to prove his point. And what is that? And what is that? If he was trying to prove a point, he would have went to Kaden. He would have went to Juju and say, look, I'm finna do something that ain't gonna make no sense to you. But hey, I gotta do this because these people think they know better than me. We gonna see. We gonna see. The things he put out publicly tell me that that ain't even true. And let's see if he can move off Staub. Because they call what happened to Staub a setback. But Kaden and Juju are failures. Yeah. Uh-huh. Y'all gotta pay attention. Y'all gotta pay attention. It doesn't even matter. No, it does matter. It matters as long as them kids still there. What happened to the power sets called in a UCF game? Facts. I done asked that so many times. At this point, play Salter and let's go 6-6. If I'm Salter, I'm gone. Prime about that bag. I don't even think it's about the bag. Colorado made their money. They know they good now to go back to the good old boy. Yup, that's what it's giving. It said we're gullible. We don't comprehend. It ain't no we, because I ain't gullible. I ain't gullible. I think Coach Prime might be when it comes to Jim Crow. I don't think he understands it. Livingston does not adjust during the game. He know what he doing. He got what happened first. He did make adjustments last year. And what happened? He got his nice fat contract before Coach Prime got his. He the next head coach. And Shurmur auditioning for offensive coordinator. They only run man coverage. Yep. It said if we beat Georgia Tech, we sitting at 3-0. We would have been in the top 15. Right. And that's why we ain't going to beat nobody else like that. I told y'all when we lost that Georgia Tech game, I said Shurmur gift wrapped that game. He wore out our defense in this game versus U of H and in Georgia Tech. Pat Shurmur has been an NFL coordinator for 23 years. He know how to throw a game. And it's always the same reason. Coach Prime don't want to accept the fact that the NFL that he done brought into his house that's already stabbed Shador and Shiloh in the back is at Colorado to stab him in the back. He don't want to accept that. He don't. I don't think he wants to, because I wouldn't be out here trying to keep getting Byron Leftwich when I got Brett Bertolone, who came with me from Jackson State. Until he stops running behind them NFL folks, it's not going to work out for him unless he want to go back to the desk. Unless he want to go back to the desk. That's what Herm Edwards did after they did him dirty. Keeping Staub in said a lot. Right. It said he can't take him out the game. He probably going to be the quarterback next week. And if so, I can't wait to hear that explanation, but y'all going to have to tell me what it is. Arch Manning is trash, right? Bubble screen Pat. That's it. It say from the start, Colorado said they wanted Travis. He gone. Now Colorado is done with the circus. They're making control of how this ends. It said all his people losing jobs. Yup. When they came in and a certain people were gone, I said, oh, they're making changes. I'm so tired of that damaged bubble screen. You and everybody else. It said that's how Pat Shurmur is telling you that he's in control. Pat Shurmur is telling you with his play calling. He's the boss. He got the quarterback he want. He got the play calling. He called to what he wanted to play first. Then he got the quarterback he wanted. Next he gonna have the head coach he want. Them NFL people. It said they have had this from the beginning. Yup. It says Sapp is not doing good to me. I'm being honest. Oh, okay. Question: which quarterback is playing next week? Stop. Yeah, when he threw Salter under the bus, that was it. Right. That was the beginning of the end. Because it shows, listen, we want to win. He said he playing a quarterback that gives us the best opportunity to win. In what world is your QB3 that supposedly Ponder even beat out in camp? At what world is he better than your QB1 or your QB2? You just won't admit you bow to the pressure. Because if you go back and listen to his post Georgia Tech press conference, he told you he was going to be quarterback. He told you it was going to be Kaden, and we pray that we see Juju. He also told you he prayed on putting Staub in. Why are you praying? Jesus did not tell you to stab Ryan, Kaden Salter and Juju in the back. He didn't tell you that. You praying on it because you knew it was wrong. And what was wrong was after the fact that you want to, in your team meeting, talk about going with the what do your teammates think about you? I don't give a damn what the Saltier's teammates think. They didn't hire you to keep them kids think. They hired you to run and manage. And you're not doing that. All you saying is lip service. I'll be responsible. Why you just can't say, I'm going to change up the play calling? All you keep saying is the kids. We got to prepare these kids. Now, partner, this your OC and your DC's doing. And everybody knows it. They scared to even mention the defensive coordinator because they know Colorado gave him that contract. They know he next. And he know he next. I told y'all, the look on his face is like, I'm just trying to kill time. Sap got old school energy. It said Livingston stayed in man defense like we got all-stars. Yep. It said Bertolone is by far the better OC. And you see, that's another thing. So let's talk about this. In addition to the NFL obsession, okay? That's what makes me feel like it's the NFL obsession. You losing. And you still won't move Shurmur out the way. Your players are starting to, if they could defect tomorrow, they would. You're losing. You lost the locker room. It's gone. They don't believe nothing you saying. No, they don't believe they can win because they don't see you holding Pat Shurmur accountable or Livingston. And what do those two have in common? They're NFL. But let's just go back to Pat Shurmur for a minute. Apparently, he got connections to what's going on with your son. Is that one reason why you tiptoeing around Pat Shurmur? Or is it you don't want to fire somebody from your NFL network because you don't want to alienate the NFL any further? But I don't think that there's anything you could do to make them people like you. They don't like you like that. Hell, Cleveland has never given Bucky an opportunity to record. He got to keep going with the Carolina Panthers. So, I mean, are you going to let your whole ship sink to control something that you can't? That means you don't believe in God and you wasn't really praying. You was just trying to figure out what to do. Why did you have to and believe that you should put Staub out there? And for people that's like, this some kind of strategy, well, let's see him go away from it. Let's see him go back to Kaden, and let's see if the right side of the O-line is going to continue to protect for Kaden and for Juju. It says SAP guys aren't producing. I think everybody is taking a toll on everybody. It takes money to build a good program. It say I really don't see why Staub did that was so great. Nothing, because he ran the same plays from Georgia Tech. It said Prime won't be there next year if they don't make it. That's what we thinking, Matt. That's what this is about. Yeah, they did Salter dirty. Yep. It said I didn't like how they did Salter. A lot of people don't. Everybody is saying in zone and saying beat us with your run. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. That's what I said the U of H game was about. We allowed 430 yards. That tells every single team to run the Georgia Tech 10 to the U of H 11. Wear down the defense, and Pat Shurmur going to let you do it. When the head coach, mentioned Pat Shurmur, I was like, why would he mention him? Because he let them get it. Just like Brent Key. Colorado was out there putting it on Georgia Tech. And Pat Shurmur held down the offense. I ain't going to tell you we was ever putting it on U of H. I ain't going to tell you that. But I will tell you U of H let Colorado get one more touchdown so we won't look so bad. Why? Because they wanted to be able to call what happened to Staub a setback. Had we lost by 3 touchdowns, they can't say that. But to let it be 2 touchdowns, it's the setback. That means they want to still roll with Staub. Let's see what happens. Colorado used Prime to become relevant again. Yep. I was thinking to myself, I was watching Jackson State. I say, you know what? I'm starting to think they always knew Coach Prime was going to be 3 in and out. And they really just disrupted all of the success that was happening at HBCUs by way of Jackson State. Imagine had Coach Prime stayed there. We'd be talking about Jackson State instead of Alabama. Season not over, though. Nope, it's not. But the decisions Coach Prime has already made is upending the morale in the locker room and a lot of fans' trust. So it's not about winning or losing. Deion may just be in denial to some point. Juju is out of here, and I pray Kate make it. It said Deion not fully engaged because of his boys and probably outfield distractions. That's what people are saying. That's the excuse they're going to use. If this season goes to Ish, Prime is gone. Yep. It said now if Prime get to bowl game and win, all of this will be sweep under the rug. I don't know about that because we went to a bowl game last year. People expecting us to do better. Livingston got to come out of man defense. They getting beat. Why is he still running man defense? It said a lot of kids Prime cut when he first came in were from Colorado boosters. That's what I'm telling y'all. I'm telling y'all, this could always all be original Buffs versus Coach Prime. Think about it. Think about it. It's like, to me, I feel like they intervene where Charlie is concerned. Why you not giving our guys which means they just didn't respect his decision-making ability. If that was Kirby Smart coming through the door and he dismissed them kids, they would have told them kids, well, just go find something else to do. We want to go head on and win. Coach Prime is black in a Power 5 and white. These are white spaces. And he brought all these people with him, and some of them are white. He just not getting Coach Pollock, for whatever reason, he just not getting him to be the special teams coach, and they killing it. But there doesn't seem to be any type of resignation in his mind to move Pat Shurmur out the way and put Brett Bertelon, who he brought from Jackson State, who's right on the ground. That should have happened already. And my question to y'all is, why is he holding on to Shurmur? I know Doc Livingston is a problem, but I know who gave Doc Livingston his contract before Coach Prime. So I understand what's going on with Doc. I do not understand what's going on with Shurmur unless it's the same thing, that he can't move him out. And that would explain why Byron Leftwich came and was named offensive analyst and had to move back, because it ain't gonna work out like he thought. Maybe when they was gonna make the change, CU was like, nah, we can't let you do that, Prime. You already got rid of Lewis. We're gonna go. I mean, something happened. Something happened that he feels like he has to yield to Shurmur, and Shurmur is messing it up for him intentionally. It's not accidental. It's the question is, just like Sean Lewis, how long is this gonna bleed out? Are they gonna go 1-11? Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised, because they ain't playing football no more. They playing for power. It said, and the defense run outside containment is so. It said no team in the Big 12 look good today. It said 1-2 always shows how the season goes. Yep. It said Pat Bubble Screen Shurmur is hot, putrid, stinky garbage. And what did Coach Prime say after the Georgia Tech game? Well, had we made the plays, it would have been fine. I'm like, come on, Coach Prime. But now he did the same thing with Sean Lewis. When they lost to Oregon, I remember him saying, well, because they talked about how Sean Lewis was giving away his playbook. Pat Shurmur don't have to give away the playbook. He just called a sorry game. So that means every school knows to run it up. You can run it up on CU, because defense not going to stop you, and because offense is in shambles. And I think the quarterback situation is just a distraction. And it shows who's in charge. It shows that Pat Shurmur got what he wanted. He wanted to run a ground game. He wanted to exclude the wide receivers. He wanted Ryan Staub. Pat Shurmur is 3 for 3. He 3 for 3. And if you want to put U of H on the tote board, he 4 for 4. Pat Shurmur's getting his way. And everybody think he should be fired. I know ball 1-2 says a lot. Are you saying that Colorado stabbed Coach Prime in the back? Faith, I'm saying there's a power grab happening at Colorado. There's some internal politics, just like year 1, happening again in year 3, where it seems like the offensive coordinator is hijacking the program. That's what I'm saying. Yes, that's what I'm saying. And I don't know if you want to say that's Colorado or if you want to say it's the NFL, because Pat Shurmur just got to Colorado. He represents the NFL. He has connections to where Shedeur is. So it said, does it matter at this point? The collusion is more prominent now, right? It said Prime got to stop being nice. If that's what you call it, Mac. It said Shiloh got a raw deal. Right. And I'm happy to see Shedeur gonna get a raw deal too. I'm happy to see that Shiloh is back doing his restaurant reviews. Look like he's still in Tampa, I think. Or he's somewhere else with the same guy, Dom. It said Colorado only have one team on their schedule that they might beat, and that's Wyoming next week, after they probably lose 4 games straight in the Big 12. Okay. Wyoming played Utah today. Does anybody know how they went? Bench stop, start Salter, keep Juju on deck. Them kids mentally checked out. Colin Staub, Martin Luther was crazy. A lot of people did not like that. I will crazy for real. Pat don't know how to coach. Then the staff don't put the right players out there. 50, 28, 10, 23 on defense need to be third string or second string. It said Abysmal. Say it again for the people in the back. Yup. Coach killing his image. Yup. It said Prime must have caught a contact. He must have caught a contact when he said that. Oh, you talking about stop. It said especially unwarranted. He wasn't turning the ball over. Salt was playing well. Georgia Tech was a decent team. Yup. Pat Shurmur head coaching record in 2011, Cleveland 4-12. And that's where we headed. That's where we headed to right now. 4-8. 2012, 5-11. Philadelphia. Again, how the hell did he get this job? It said we haven't seen the AD. What do I think about that? What I always think about it. I think it's always strange when you don't see Rick George. I said that last year. I said, have y'all seen Rick George? I said it not too long ago. I say, have y'all seen Rick George? Remember year one, he had Coach Prime picture on his inside of his jacket? I ain't seen him. It said, wow, this is disheartening. Yup. It said they don't have anything in Prime. It said y'all just delusional. All right, Nicholas, we're gonna let you live with your tape. It's okay that you don't agree, but don't be disrespectful, or we're gonna have to block you. It said Shiloh. Yep, Shiloh is lit. Yep. It said Coach Prime did put on the dress. What, Brian? It say stop the bleeding. That's what I say. Prime gonna explode by week 6. I don't know. It said, wait, the kids voted on QB1. I didn't say that. Somebody said you can't let the kids take a poll. Remember what happened, right? Everybody was cheering for Staub on the sidelines, in the stands, and even Shurmur said he knew that the kids would relate to Staub, right? And Coach Prime, after that, seemingly made his decision easier to go with Staub, even though he knew Kaden was the best choice. Not just that Kaden earned it. He knew Kaden and Juju were better. But he went away with what he knew to be right. He went away from integrity. Where's your integrity when you just name somebody the starter? He does well, and you take him out and put in this dude right here. That means you're making decisions. And if you gonna sit up and say you a college head coach of a program that generate $340 million, and you made a decision based off what some 22-year-olds who don't even have fully developed frontal lobes told you, then you got played. You got played. You got played. Why I give a damn what them kids think? How they even know? How they even know to boo Kaden and to cheer for Juju a little bit and to cheer for Staub a lot? So you gonna let them students pick your quarterback, but you let Pat Shurmur trick you into that? Like, that looks like you have an ego problem. It looks like you care more about cheering for your program than you did about the integrity and the word and the decision and the optics of how you treated Kaden Salter. And you took Kaden Salter out after a good first quarter against Delaware. You left Staub in to try to get it right. Jackson Dart, Tyler Shaw. You bow into other people's wishes. These ain't your decisions, even though Coach Prime tried to make us think it was his decision. I'm going with the guy that gives us the best chance to win. And what the hell makes you think that was Staub? That meant one thing. That meant you were wrong for naming Kaden the starter, and you never said that. You just went away from Kaden like the kids like him, but I don't give a damn who the kids like. Some of them kids didn't like Shador, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter that all those kids didn't like Shador. His O-line damn sure didn't like him in year 1 and 2 on the right side and all across the board in year 1. And did that get Shador bench? You see, that's another thing. You can't call for consistency. But when it comes to Shador with the Nebraska game, you never took him out. So you didn't take Kaden out the game because he wasn't good, because you never took Shador out. You took Kaden out the game because you knew they wanted Staub to play. You knew you switched to Staub because you know somebody we can't see, and Pat Shurmur wants Staub to be the guy. And you willing to upend your whole program to go with what they want to do. We're not used to that from Coach Prime. And then for you to try to sell us that it's on your decision because what them little damn kids thought, it's crazy. Because now that's why you look like Boo Boo the Fool out there talking about I'm dumbfounded. You dumbfounded when you know for a fact you can't let no damn kids make no decision. If somebody was forcing your hand, I would have went to Kaden and Juju and said, look, I want it to be y'all, but we're going to have to roll with Staub on this one. And yeah, that's going to tell them that you ain't in control, but you're telling us that anyway. See, there's nothing you can't tell us that we don't even already know. We know that you refuse to hold Shurmur accountable. And I think you can't hold Doc accountable. And maybe for the same reason I think you can't hold Doc is the reason why you can't hold Shurmur. Them kids ain't stupid. I saw them how they picked up their phone and they was texting real fast. I know what they be doing. They upset. So if your locker room is trash, you contributed to that when you stabbed Kaden in the back. I can't think of what them people could have on Coach Prime that will make him stab Kaden in the back like that. Have him to talk about going with the best guy that could win. That wasn't, what? The fact that he tried to sell it is what pisses me off. I would have said nothing. I would have just been like, look, let me talk to you for a minute. This ain't my idea, but let's just roll with it and see what it do. I wouldn't have sit up here and make it seem like Kaden is a problem. I wouldn't totally exclude Juju. And I would have made adjustments in that game. I'd have been like, look, y'all got one quarter. I'm trying to win. See, they don't care that he's trying to win because they're not trying to win. They're trying to disrupt, and he's allowing it. And we're not used to that from Coach Prime. He got a man up. It said Prime need assistance. Yep. It said that was hurtful. You could see it in their body language in locker room. Yeah, that's hurtful. Oh, thank you, Tina. Thank you so much. Thank you. It said Geesh is a wide receiver. Was he cut? Somebody said he was cut. It said the usual build up the program and they move in their preferences. Right. And again, you have to be a student of life. You have to be a student of Black history. Just like I said about Shador. I asked y'all when the things were going on with Shador, I said, what makes Shador different from Lamar Jackson? Nothing other than Coach Prime. And that didn't even work for Shador. So that told you that Shador got treated in the same way or more disrespectful than Lamar Jackson. So what is it about? It's about them being Black and heavily melanated. That's what the hell it's about. That's what the hell it's about. Understand, they don't even want no Black quarterbacks. But they have a tolerance for people that like Dak, people like Pat Mahomes. And as you can see, they preferring Josh Allen over Pat Mahomes. And I told you that was going to happen. I told you that was going to happen. I told people, I said, they're about to be done with Pat Mahomes. They got their guy. They got their Ryan Staub. They got their Josh Allen. That's what they want. They want Ryan Staub to be Josh Allen. They want Jackson Dart to be Josh Allen. They want Trevor Lawrence to be Josh Allen. That's what they want. It don't really matter how much melanin you have to us, but it mattered to them. I told y'all my story, how it went. They was looking. The lady was looking. We both Black. What the hell are you looking at? My friend had more melanin than me. I didn't like that. It still hurt every time I think about it. But that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Kaden didn't do nothing to them people. And for him to try to sell it on how your teammates think about you, well, look what that got you. It got you embarrassed. And Pat talking about, oh, I knew the kids would respond. Then that ought to tell you was set up. That means that tell you he didn't give a damn about the way Star played. He cared more that other people had buy-in. That's what he cared about. So, hey, Mac, it said they cut Geesh to make room for Judkins. What? That's crazy. Prime not going to get another powerful job. Probably not. It said, I think, unless he going to the SEC, but again, if he go over there, he going to be their token. Believe that. I think Geesh is the wide receiver that Shador was training with. It is. That's who Geesh is. That's crazy. JG, when he outplaying Judy and Tillman. Right. Thank you, Mac. Just the mayors, too. Who you talking about, Ted? Let me know. Oh, you talking about, who you talking about, Ted? Because I know mayors is in Canada. It says, so Prime is damned if he's doing, damned if he don't. Right. And what did I say? When you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, you better do what's right. You better do what's right. If you had to pray on it, you know they was asking you to do something crazy. And God did not tell you to stab Kaden in the back. And even if God told you to go head on and put Ryan Staub in, you should have stabbed Kaden in the back with your words, talking about how your teammates treat you, and I want to go with the one that is giving me the best opportunity to win. See that little, them two sentences right there. Those two phrases piss me off because you try to sell me when I know that you just chose Kaden because you said Kaden was the best. You said he earned it. And then when you went away from it, you try to justify it by throwing Kaden under the bus. That's why people not happy with him. That's why they said what happened in that game was karma. And I don't know how the hell he was dumbfounded because you knew that Staub was not better than Kaden, but you let Pat Shurmur set up 43 seconds to make you believe that he was, which means you don't know football. Like they said, you're not fit to lead. That's what they trying to prove. That's what they trying to prove. And he's helping them to do it, whether he knows it or not. So he going to be dumbfounded when he get fired. And it's going to be humiliating. It said, God help Coach Prime. Whatever is going on, he reads prayers and help. Yeah, okay. It said Prime is in denial. I think that's what it is. I do. I think it's this whole NFL obsession, or he's scared to let Shurmur go because something going to happen to Shador. And I'm like, his career is already in the toilet. The NFL said they didn't want him before the draft. And they only used him to embarrass him and get the views up. And that's what CU going to do to you. They going to keep you over there with Pat Shurmur keeping the program to keep the views up, and they're going to embarrass you. It's the same thing. They already saying Coach Prime only won at Colorado because of his boys. Right. They taking his coaching career and trashing it. They're like, well, you can see Shador was the one doing all the work. He can't coach nobody else. It said once Prime retire, y'all going to have to find a new Black coach to beat up on. We ain't beating up on nobody. That means you don't hang out over here. You don't hang out over here. I'm like, because I can tell you how long it took me to get to Jackson State. Shit. How many hours I watched Trinity High School football. Like, now you're going to have to move around with that, partner. Just because we want to instill some accountability. Hell, we want Coach Prime to step on up. But we're not going to sit here and be yes people and act like everything okay. For what? What is that going to do for the kids? It's really about the kids. It ain't really about Coach Prime. Coach Prime allowing this foolishness hurts the kids. So it needs to be about the kids. Was it about the kids when he stabbed Kaden in the back? No. So we don't give a damn. He's a grown up. I care about them kids. And so does every other fan out there who know that them kids' talent is being wasted. So I don't want to hear nothing about that. If you don't like accountability, then hey, just check on out. So we still doing CB tonight. What's that? It said the Buffalo Room. Then when you are in that position, you stand 10 toes down and you do the right thing. Right. Some people, you know what? I hate to say it to our fan base, right? Some people just don't want you to say nothing negative. Right. Because I know what they're thinking. Oh, Prime is the first to be in that position. Right. So if he's the first to be in that position, you want to encourage him to be accountable to them kids and not stab the black ones in the back. Because they could just go to any school for that. You got to hold people accountable. The only people that don't want to hold people accountable are people who don't want to be held accountable. I'm like, Coach Prime wasn't right for how he treated Salter. Let's see if he can move on from style before you say something. It's just looking a mess and unorganized. Right. So imagine how it's been feeling around there for a minute. That's what we were talking about. What we're seeing on the screen, they've been going through this. That's why them kids feel like that. Them kids went out there and played their heart out in that first quarter versus Georgia Tech. And what the hell did Shurmur do? He just let Georgia Tech get their shit together. That's why they feel like they do. What am I gonna go out here and bust my butt for? But the smart ones realize it's an audition. It don't matter whether you win or lose, go out there and ball out. So when you hit that portal, other teams can pick you up because they are watching. Call it the purge. Them other schools, they know what's going on. They know what's going on. Shit, even the Buffalo left. Not the Buffalo left. Oh my God. That's crazy. He said, Johnny Daniel said the damn Buffalo left. Oh, Lord. Not Ralphie. Ralphie said, I'm out. Deuces. Deuces. It said, where do y'all put all of the black coaches? Bruh, okay, you know what? I'm gonna rescue you. So you take care, bro. You take care. You take care. Don't even worry about it. We're not finna explain that to you. Uh Sabotage. Yes, Tina. Amber. Yeah, it's crazy. Shaking my damn head. Yep. It said it's crazy how things change so quick. I thought we would have been 3-0 right now, and Salter would be a Heisman. Hell, yes, because that was the plan, bruh. I'm like, oh, so yeah, that's exactly. All they talked about in the first half, thank you, Tina. All they talked about in the first half was what? All they talked about was that he not the same person or whatever. He got a lot on his mind with his sons and stuff. I'm like, I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it at all. I think the problem that I see is that Coach Prime himself don't want to hold Pat Shurmur accountable. Again, we can get to oh, thank you, BJ. Thank you, BJ. Thank you. Thank you. I keep hitting this button. Let me put it right here. Let me know if y'all can hear me. It's better if I just sit it down. So the problem is, I get it. He had surgery. I know people said, they think it's a big deal that Shadur and Shiloh are gone. I get all of that. That's what you have assistant coaches for. But here's the thing. Even if you're having issues with your kids being gone or your surgery, that don't mean you let the team go to hell. See, a part of leadership, a part of being a leader is being decisive before things have to be escalated. See, you don't let things go to hell and then you try to fix it. No, a leader is a solution oriented person. Maybe he in denial that maybe he can't coach for the next 5 years. Does that mean you allow Kaden to be stabbed in the back publicly and undermine his leadership on the team? No, it doesn't. See, having surgery and losing your kids does not make you stab somebody else in the back. I told y'all the same thing when it came to Travis' situation at the OSU game. People were like, oh, she must have been pregnant. It still don't make you disrespect nobody. That's what I'm telling y'all. I don't care what it really is. When you are a leader, you don't bleed out on other people. That's what leaders do. We step aside and we like, hey, you know what? It's time for me to train up somebody else. Why can't it be Brett Bertelon? I think it's this NFL obsession. And I think that's what's got him in trouble. One, because Shador's over there with Stefanski hand on the red button, and that ain't gonna change nothing. And y'all know Stefanski worked for Pat Shurmur. Shurmur running the same offense that Stefanski's running. So Coach Prime got to figure out who he gonna be loyal to. When it comes to having integrity, you name Kaden the starter, you shouldn't have went away from it. That's facts. And you don't give in to pressure of no 22-year-olds because you see how that works out. Now you look crazy. And you done alienated your locker room. Hell, why the hell did they even want Stout to be quarterback? I thought they watched him at practice. What's happening is Coach Prime is looking inept. That's the whole point of this. And as a leader, when you create more mess than you are solving problems and moving the program forward, you got to step aside. And either he going to be forced to do it or he going to do it voluntarily. Because if Pat Shurmur is still calling the plays, ain't nothing going to get better until he want it to get better. So understand that. I hope he can go back into retirement and enjoy his family. It's not worth it for him. He doesn't need to work. Yep, he doesn't. Stop the new Rudy. Yep. He seemed like it. It said, yep, he's not himself in a press conference. It said, agree, his energy was off. Yep, he ready to quit. I think he know. I think he know the fix is in. That's what I think. And I think he trying not to let us know. But see, here's the thing about that, right? We gonna pick up on it. The kids picked up on it first. And we picked up on it too. So if we know and the kids know, then what should you do? What you don't want to do? You either gonna stand up to them and take whatever comes with it, or you just gonna let the kids' futures just hang in the balance. That ain't right. You got to take yourself out the equation and do what's best for these kids. He keeps saying we got to get these kids prepared as if they're not prepared. That ain't it. That ain't it at all. He got a lot of talent over there. As soon as Coach Prime is gone, watch CU unretire Shador and Travis jerseys. Facts. Facts. All of this is a power grab. When you understand a power grab, everything in its wake will become collateral damage. The goal is to take back the throne. The throne is the head coach of any of these big programs that generate $300 million. There's a lot of power and influence that come with that. This could be anybody else. Colorado has never had a black head coach long term. Go look at, somebody could Google it. What's the longest black head coach who's served over there at Colorado? Who is it? Coach Prime? Let me know. It said Didn't tune into the game. I knew it was going to be abysmal. Could see the writing on the wall. It said they're going to keep Travis retired. He won the Heisman. Yeah, they might keep Travis. It said some of them boys just came to Colorado to get to the NFL anyway. Yeah, but still, right? I think Coach Prime, and you know what? They know what that says. You know what that says? That explains something. Camry, is it Cameron? What's your name? Ramirez. Okay, Miss Ramirez. Okay, what did I say about the NFL obsession? Having all these NFL coaches, but it's not working out. You don't want to hold them accountable. So it's like you don't want to alienate the NFL because you're firing all the NFL head coaches, or maybe you don't want people to know that you really can't get them to the NFL because the NFL letting them know, but you don't want to let them know. And if you fire Pat Shurmur, maybe does that cause some type of disruption to the program again next year? He protecting something, guys. If it ain't Shador, it's got to be the program. But alienating the players to make people to try to save a relationship that already don't exist. You got to choose carefully. Yes, he's damned if he do, and he damned if he don't. And we just played 3 games. We got a whole season to go. And if he not the one that's decided what kind of plays will be called, because people noticed he kept putting his microphone up, he wasn't speaking into the mic. It was all Pat Shurmur. That's not going to sit well with people that you just let it happen. That's not a leader. It's almost like the same thing with Sean Lewis. He wants people to see what's happening, and he wants them to do something about it. No, that's not. This is year 3. This is the second time your OC hijacked the person, and we know for sure you hired this one, or so we think. And it's your NFL connection, which means your NFL theory of bringing all these coaches is not working. And maybe you don't want to admit that, but he protecting something. But it needs to be these students' futures. All right, we're going to get ready to get out of here. I'm just reading y'all comments. Houston ran 3 plays on offense. Yup. I was saying, put Bayard in the last game. Yup. Then people want to say he's not good. No, Bayard is a dog. I've been saying that. Kaden is not a good QB. That's false. It said defense been playing so bad. They keep rotating them so much. I don't think people have time to get comfortable. They know Juju gonna be expensive. It said O-line and wide receivers got to get better. They want it stopped, so they want it stopped. It said Juju ain't going nowhere. And we'll see. Oh, Miller ain't doing a damn thing. Now y'all see y'all blaming the players. Y'all blaming the players. Y'all see how y'all blame the players? That's the whole problem right there. That's the whole problem right there. Y'all refuse to look at this play calling and understand how trash it is and understand the implication to the morale of the locker room that Coach Prime would protect Shurmur and protect the OC, the DC, and the play calling is trash week after week. And school's gonna route us week after week. Y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna see Wyoming coming up. Let's see if you get that one. Let's see if you get that one. Miller gonna leave for Texas probably. It said, especially when he say they will be fine with or without football. It said he's not trying to save Shador. It is what it is. All right. It said it's sad all around. I don't want to see this happen to any black man. Yeah, but our choices matter. We just make up anything. No integrity. What? Nah, we ain't making up nothing. It said Prime told Staub to leave. Pat convinced him to stay. Right. And what's happening now? It don't look like Coach Prime can say no. It don't look like Coach Prime can say no. Right? Maybe that's why he told him to stay. Things are going to change. He ain't good though. So why does it have to be him? Is it because he's an original buff? What's wrong with Colton Allen? Why they don't want it to be him? See, this just like Jackson Dart and Quinn Ewers. Why did it have to be Jackson Dart? And why they didn't go for Quinn Ewers like this? It's the same thing. Why they willing to take Arch Manning #1 over Nussmeier? I told you when they infight, it's different, right? They stick together, and sometimes they'll go to the people and be like, look, we know you're supposed to be #1, but we need to get Manning in here because the overall, the bigger picture is that he going to be the face of the league. Your son not going to be that no way. So you just take a back seat to us. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. And on our side, when we speak up to hold our people accountable, like I'm doing and like we are in the comments, people come along and they get upset because they see Coach Prime doing something most black men don't get to do. But what they also are not paying attention to is he's at a point where he's shifting and becoming more of them and less of him. And they don't understand that. They just want him to be there and not realizing that he damned if he do and he damned if he don't. And that hurting your players, alienating your players, disrupting your locker room ain't gonna get you nowhere. Those players, they have they see what's going on. That's why they all wrapped up. We just not catching on to it. So we're gonna get out of here, guys. This was good. This was good. Y'all pray for Coach Prime. And hopefully God give him some discernment and he listen. And just understand that, at the end of the day, if you believe in God, you gotta let God. You gotta let God have the will. If you want to go with the best person that give you a chance to win after you the name Salter QB1, then you have to ask yourself, why are you changing your mind? God did not tell you to change your mind. I think God actually expects loyalty. So, those are things he's gonna have to be honest about. And then again, when you change your mind, don't try to sell us like Kaden is the problem. Because if so, he shouldn't be on your team. You see, that's how things just spiral out of control. Don't try to sell us on it. We know you changed your mind. Don't try to make us think it's Kaden. Because now you went with them kids wanted, you went with Pat Shurmur wanted, and you look crazy. You look like Boo Boo the Fool. So who you gonna be loyal to? All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. Thank you, everybody. Y'all have a good night. Hit the like button on your way out. And if you're in your feelings, go get some Kleenex. Go argue with your mama. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. Good night. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Be sure to join our daily live stream and listen up to What She Said Sports on the go on Spotify. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Stay for another video.